Welcome to episode 49 of FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. And as you can see, we're all moved out. All of the auto crafting now has gone from the logistics pipe system and it's into our base. Let me just fix that. Let me just fix that again. There we go, fixed. So, what I'm going to do this episode, we're going to, I did mention it a couple of episodes ago, but I think we're going to automate Living Rock and Livingstone, just because I wanted more excuses to use Steve's Factory Manager, which you can see there, the main block, Machine Inventory Manager, to automate it. Previously, I've fully automated this in just Britannia, really. Yeah, I've made those in the past season. If you want to see it just using Britannia, feel free to look at those. When I say just Britannia, there is a bit of circuitry involved. You could use... you may not be able to use native. No. You need a clock... you need a few different, basically, electronics that I'm not going to go into here because it was last season. Steve Factory Manager is a better way to do it. So let's do this. And I've not really used it before, so let's see how it goes. There are some issues that you'll need to be aware of if you haven't used Steve Factory Manager for this kind of thing before. So, first of all, if everything's chunk loaded and you don't need lots of Living Rock and Livingstone, then this first method will probably work just fine. I'm going to do two different ones. This is the more usual method. We'll come back to it in a second. So, place down some inventory cable. And in this case, I'm just going to cover the middle one with earth, just to separate things out. I'm going to put my Machine Inventory Manager here and a block gate here. Block gates are relatively cheap. Nothing too special there. These are actually more expensive than anything else. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. And we are going to put a chest on top. It's a nicer way to store things. I'll probably put the chest closer to here once I did it finally. But so yeah, this is how we set up. And what we're going to do is set it up so it's going to deploy stone or wood, whatever's placed in the chest, here. Wait for it to turn into Living Rock or Livingstone, and then put it back in the chest. And it'll repeat. And this, if you didn't need massive quantities, would be just fine. And it's quite cheap. So let's just set this up. So we're going to want a trigger or two. I'm going to create two just because it's even simpler, but there's a way to make this into one network later. I'm going to want a couple of inputs and a couple of outputs. And the trigger doesn't really matter what it's set to. They're set to 1 second by default. I'd just leave them there. And just connect them up to the inputs. And I just straighten everything out. On the inputs, I'm going to say, I'm going to look in the chest. And I'm going to connect to the output. And in the chest, I'm going to look for certain items. I'm going to look for a whitelist of stone or wood. And in my case, I'm always going to be using oak wood, so I don't have to worry about anything other than that. I don't need any of the more advanced stuff, so that's that. So if there's any wood in the input chest, because that's what we're looking for, then put it, or stone, put it in the block gate inventory. And we don't have to worry about that, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, bit of an issue. This is really weird. I would check the wiki to see if this is a bug or if it's intended behavior. But let's say we put one piece of wood. Let me just use stone, actually, because it's easier to destroy. One piece of stone in there, and it deploys it floating in the air like this. Now, you might think, this is so you can hide this. You can sink it one further into the ground. Well, yes, you can do that, and it will work. Excuse me. By the way, I've been coming off a cold, so I really apologise for the audio, which has detrimental effects on my voice, unfortunately. I sound like I've been smoking, but I don't smoke, so yeah, that's been annoying for the last few days. I've been rather croaky, but hopefully it's not too bad now. Hopefully I've recovered. So yes, it deploys it one further up. I think it's a bug because the problem is the other side of this. So we're going to now look at the input inventory for the block gate. And we're going to look for living rock and living wood. There we go. And if so, we're going to connect them to the output inventory, which is just going to be the chest. Now, even if that block was here and it had changed, it doesn't actually work. I've tried it. Because the block gate is scanning this block in front of it, which is air at the moment, but it deploys it in this block above it here. So, yeah, I'm not terribly impressed. I'm assuming it's a bug, in which case, the simplest way of dealing with it is just to say, there we go. So just put a block where that one would be, and let's see if this now works. It should, I hope, deploy it, yeah, where it's supposed to. So you can just leave that block in the way, or use a transparent block like some glass, or whatever you actually want to in that case. And you can then encase this entire thing in glass. It would look okay. Just a real weird bug. So while that's changing, I should note that these are just two separate triggers, and it's going to keep looking for when this changes to living rock, and we should be able to see that very shortly. When that happens, it's going to grab it and put it back in the chest, and again, this will just keep working automatically. It'll just keep scanning for things. All done. Well, yes, if you want to do it simply like this, with a very low turnover rate, you can just put a couple of stacks of stone and wood in there, and you can wait. And hopefully that's going to change sometime soon. It does take about a minute, I know. So let's just breathe. Yeah, there it goes. So it destroyed it almost as soon as it was created. And it's in here. And, you know, you could set up some remote system with ender chests, just to move them from one ender chest to another or something like that, and deal with stock levels and whatever else we wanted to do if we want to do that. Normally, I just want to have a certain amount of them, so I can just drop it in the chest. So you can improve this a little bit and get rid of this trigger if you want by putting a condition in here and checking for checking this for if it has, if any, of stone, wood, I think cobblestone as well, something about it breaking from memory. And then if they aren't detected, we can then hook this to this and get rid of this trigger entirely. And that should still work, I think. I will give it a check, but yeah, so that part's certainly working. And that will keep on going without problem. Now, we can go a bit further than that. We can then do a full ring if we want to, which need a bit of an... oh, was it deployed the wrong way? We can just have... There we go. Mini ring, or, you know, whatever other formation you want, really. Like this. And we can do a very, very similar program. The only real difference there is that we... if you didn't do anything extra, you then need to have one input and output, and that this whole chain for each one of those block gates. Clearly, that isn't a great thing to do. So there is an extra step you can do to improve this. And once this has changed, I'll then switch things over. In fact, let me just dig down a little bit. Because what we can do is just leave the inventory manager where it is, save, and there it goes. See? All done. Same thing, just only one trigger now. So we can go a bit further. Let's just get rid of you and put you in here. I was going to have the inventory manager in fact, yeah, let's just move it. Why not? I'll have to set things up again, but it's not really much. Oh, let go too early. It's not really much of an issue. There we go. Ah. Get rid of some of this stuff. Ow, ow. So, yes, so we're going to have to put those blocks above. And I'm just going to use stone for now because I'm lazy. And let's just clear all these blocks around just before it gets turned into living rock. And we've got everything we need apart from you, I think. Ah, is my magnetism off? It is. There we go. And we can just put this down just to obscure it. There is a way to actually cloak these by changing what they look like. I can't remember what it's called, but I will look that up and probably just mention it at the start of the next episode, so don't worry about that one. And inventory manager and the chest. Right. So we can start again. We probably don't need this one at all now, because this is going to be quite fast. 8 times the speed. And because these are block gates, they're quite cheap, then you may as well. Oh, excuse me, my throat is going again. We're going to need a couple of variables first. And can I ever remember where they are? Definitely going to want a for each. We're going to want a trigger again. And we're going to want a variable or 2. Yeah. Right. So variables, yeah, this is getting into programming topics, but we're going to start the for each thing. A for each loop in programming is basically you give it a list of things. Okay. Well, there's different words for this, but generally a list of things, and you say, for every item in the list, do something. So it might follow that you think that's quite obvious now. So we're going to give a list of all the block gates, and we're going to say for each of them, do this. And then we're going to set up that same thing again. But in order to do that, we have to assemble a list, first of all. So first of all, we need to, let's just say red. Red would be the last one in the list, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, local. Let's see if there's anything else. Containers, I want to set all of them. There we go. And I don't need... I'm hoping I haven't really looked into these other things, so let's hope that that's all done. And then I want another variable. Let's say this is blue. That's blue. And I don't have to do anything with it. The other variable isn't the list, it's the actual individual item. So when you pass a list in programming, you're saying, here's a list, for every one of them, do something. And the something needs, generally, in things like Ruby, you need to pass in a variable that gets used for each one. It's representative of each one in the list. And, you can call it whatever you like. You can call it N or I or whatever you want to actually do. But, yeah, it doesn't really matter. In this case, you could just think of it as block 8, and that's it. And it would just change value depending on which one in the list it's pointing at. So we don't worry about it, basically. It's the short version. So in the for each, the list is red. So let's go backwards. There we go. And the element, what's a better word for it? The individual item that's being used in each time through the list is blue. And that should be it, I think. So we can trigger, I think we just trigger to the for each. And then for the for each, we're going to need that input and output chain again. So we input and output. So let's just quickly check with the chest for items like stone. And if it would actually auto select that would be better, or wood. And we're going to output to, it's not an inventory now though, is it? Because it's a variable. I think that would do it. Is that going to do it? Well, we'll see soon. And items, we don't need to worry about it. So if that works, then it should just dump these wherever it can. So let's just put a 9 down. Okay, so that did that tried to dump it all on 1. Nope, needed a bit more finesse. Let me just check my notes. So I did want to have one of the colours wrong, but that wasn't the main thing. I needed to attach it to the side one, not the bottom one. Do bear in mind that for the for each. I actually had one of the colours the wrong way around as well, but just to briefly cover that off again then. for each of the red list, grab a blue element, and then for the chest, you should grab an item, let's say stone, but make sure you right click on the stone. You do actually have to specify the advanced side of things. Right click on it and say specify amount 1. That's when it'll try and actually drop all the stone it has on the one block at once, and you'll get 1 block of stone, and the rest will just be dropped on the ground. Do bear that one in mind. And then, you know, the actual output is just the blue variable. And I don't even need to think you need to select this. Yeah, I don't even think you need those for the output because you've already selected them on the input. And if you do that, hopefully now, let's just grab a few of those. I'll just into some testing. So if I get 4, will you now work? Great. So it now deposits 4 stone, which we can break, obviously. And that's fine. So we can now apply the earlier stuff that we did. We need a condition. Yeah, a condition. And we're going to check to see if the blue variable currently has any of stone, cobblestone, or wood. And we need to put this somewhere. So you could say we could try and do this after input and output. Remember, it's going to try and put this down in the space. And if there's something already there, it's going to have some issues. So we need to put this ahead of this. So, whoops, helps if I grab that. So for each, you can do this and then this, I think. So we can then move that around over here. So for each one, if there aren't any of these items already in the way, then the input, I'm not even sure if you need the cobblestone. Yeah, I'll have to check that. Then the input is, yeah, the chest. So yes, grab stuff from chest, drop into the right place, away you go. That'll certainly set stuff up there. We want before that, however, to remove anything that is ready. So, you know, we just wait for it to be ready first. So let's grab that. So we need the other input and output, which is straightforward. This is going to be a bit messy on the screen, but yeah. So 1 to there, there to there, there to there. And we're then going to check the blue for... Oh, helps if I don't try and spill my drink. Living rock, Livingstone, sorry, Livingwood, and if so, then output to the chest. Is that everything? Well, let's give it a go. Okay, so it's certainly good placing them just fine, and we'll see how well that actually goes. I'm going to cut to that though, rather than wait a minute. So it's been over a minute now. It's just deployed the other 2 pieces of stone. They will convert. It's automatically done those, grabbed them and brought them back in. So I have just checked with a couple of channels. Direwolf20 did one of these, as did Aqua the Builder, and they all seem to be pretty much the same loop, the same setup. So I think we can declare this bug-free. Hopefully. I'm sure those channels would have picked up something if there was any bugs with this now. And I think we're pretty much done. At least with this automation. Should make it look a bit nicer maybe, and I'm running out of room. Yeah. I've run out of room. Never mind. But that's all well and good. Now, why did I want to do that, you say? Well, I'm kind of hoping there's a solution for charging things by doing something very similar. Now, let's just head to the other base. You'll see what I mean. And wait for it to load. Yeah, here we go. Hopefully. There we go. So now everything is set up. This is my stock taking system. It's got all the Industrial Craft 2 stuff in here. It's got forestry stuff. We've got the regular RF stuff on this side. And it's just serving up all the things I need to the main network. So I'm quite happy with how that's actually turned out. And I've only got, if you have a look at here, this is dense cable. I've only got half of the cable actually in use, only 16 channels for all of this machinery. So yeah, I'm very happy. And add that up there as well. Excuse the really awkward cabling there. I've not finished that yet. Let's pop down. So what did I want to see if this could be used for? Well, I was looking at charging pads, and I'm just wondering if they will allow, like redstone charge pad, will it allow, I wonder, me to drop a block in front of it, or is it just going to be a machine that I have to pipe stuff into? If it would pipe stuff into and it would charge really fast, I wouldn't want to use Steve Factory Manager, but if I had to put stuff in front of it, a lot of charge pads want me to actually stand on them, that kind of thing. We could use the energetic infuser to do it. It depends if we can get a resonant version that would really dump a lot of stuff in, but there's a better solution still. In fact, no, I don't need to use Steve Factory Manager. What am I talking about? No, that's fine for just Living Rock. Ignore me. What I actually want to do is Draconium block. Now, I've charged these. I did show them last episode, and we need some of that. We need some TNT. I need a lever. And we want the dragon heart. I've mentioned this ritual, but I actually want to give it a go. This charged stuff, a charged Draconium block, it's a bit annoying. It's 100 million RF per block to charge it. So when you make the Draconium block itself, this one, you have to leave it in your inventory and charge it up as normal. However, I think in here, I've built these Ender IO capacitors. You can actually drop items in there to charge them. So I think we may be okay. I think we may be able to charge them in there. So I can, I don't need to worry about it. I'm just going to build more of these and make a large battery bank that I can charge them really quickly. So yeah, ignore that one. I thought solve that one off camera. And all my power is going to be going through this capacitor, by the way. So this is the input, this is the output. And so that whenever power dies in the main reactor, I may have a chance to actually see it just by, whoops. Helps if I don't do that. If I do something like that, I can see the power level. And as this gets large, it gets to billions of RF. Not the largest thing in the game, but we're not to the end of Draconic Evolution yet, so that's going to come up soon. Yeah, so let's go and do this. I think I've got everything I need. Let's go to the end. The end. Build a bit of a platform between the episodes while I was nursing my cold. And it's just double layered obsidian on the floor. And this will just serve all the Endermen over there hating us. So let's drop the TNT down. And the lever. Sacrificial lever. And let me just turn off my magnetism. And then let me drop the dragon heart somewhere nearby, flip the lever, and then back away, and hopefully this works. I think this is how you do it. We'll see shortly. Okay, so there's the dragon heart in the activated mode, just like as if you killed the end dragon. And we need to pop down some of these blocks. Doesn't really matter how we drop these. And drop some 16 draconic cores. The draconic cores, by the way, it's 4 per block you put on the floor. Just bear that in mind. But you don't want to ever do anything less than 4 of these blocks, because it would waste the dragon heart. Should be done shortly. I'm going to back away because that's an explosion. I don't know what the radius is. There we go. Haha! We've got awakened draconium blocks, which are actually reasonably hard to pickaxe through. I should use the hammer. So yes, these are used in a bunch of things for Draconic Evolution now, and we're going to come on to them in the coming episodes. Just something I wanted to get out of the way. The tools I would like. In fact, I pretty much would like everything that can be made with this stuff. Tools, swords, bows, excuse me, pickaxe, chest plates, armor, whatever you want to be made with these things. And we can't make a dimension builder from RF tools. until we have 4 of these. So, of course, whatever we choose for these things, including the Awaken Core, we need more dragons. So I need to get on to the Draconic Resurrection, and for that, we're going to leave till next episode, because this one is... it's getting towards 20-odd minutes, and I don't want to run over and have like a 45, 50-minute long episode resurrecting the dragon. So we're going to do that next episode, I think. Hope you've enjoyed the ride. We got some Steve Factory Manager going on. We've got some Awakened Draconium blocks now. And let's go and make a dragon next. If you like the episode, feel free to thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Let's see what you think. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, or just follow me on Twitter @GreyDuster and let me know any questions you've got. And yeah, we'll see you next time.